Peace be upon you, ninth graders. Welcome to our new English class with our new lesson, Literary Element, Character Development. With me, Mrs. Iman Maidani. At the end of this video, you will be able to identify the literary element, character development, answer questions about character development. You will need your Beyond Part B, your comprehension notebook, and of course, a pen. Let's get started. When you meet people for the first time, you make your own judgment according to, think for a while. Of course, their appearance first, right? Second, their personalities. Third, information about those people from others. Fourth, their traits, and finally their behavior. Same thing can be applied on people or characters in stories. So, dear students, it's important to know that good readers understand that characters may change or develop throughout the story they are reading. But the question is, which characters and what changes and why? Also, good readers know that characters not only change, but also make mistakes, apologize, set things right, and most importantly, they learn. To clarify my idea, let's have this example from your story that you've already read in your book Beyond Part A, page 9, A Street Fight, to know more about the son's character. What was the son's attitude at the beginning and at the end of the dialogue? Let's see. At the very beginning, we saw the son furious and immature. How do you know that? Let's see these pieces of evidence. When the son says, "Should this misconduct fall on deaf ears?" Also when he says, "I called them names and the fight broke out." While at the end, we saw the son a totally different person. We saw him placid, calm, and mature. How do you know that? It's clear in these pieces of evidence. When the son says, "All right, I'm sorry. It was idiotic of me to react as such. I can see now." Also when he says, "Of course, okay, Dad, you're right. It was silly." The question is, does the son's attitude in the dialogue stay the same? Think for a while. Look at the difference in the attitude at the very beginning and at the very end. Is it the same? Absolutely not. It has changed. The question is, was this change in his character positive or negative? Think for a while and let's see. Of course, it was positive since he learned an important lesson about life and so showed a growth to a new personality. A new personality? How? Let's see. At the very beginning, the son was irresponsible, hasty, rash, and idiotic when he picked up the gauntlet and called them names, while at the end he became responsible, reliable, and mature. You see the difference? You see the positive change in the character? Okay. Note that the change in a character can be also negative. Then, after seeing the change in the character of the son, does the son undergo a character development? Yes, of course. And what causes his character change? There are factors, of course. People and events. Who do you think the people that cause his character change? Of course, his father. Then, what are the events that cause his character change? Of course, the conflict that he had, the fight that he had with the street boys. So, what is character development? Character development is the change a character undergoes through the course of a story. This change can be positive or negative. Moreover, it's good to know that the son's character is called dynamic character, the one who goes through a personality change due to the events in the story, and that's what happened with the son in the dialogue. This change can be mental, social, or emotional. But what do we call the character that does not undergo any change? It's called static character, the one whose personality does not change in the story. Let's watch and practice our new literary element. After watching the video entitled Metanoia, answer the following questions. By the way, metanoia means a change of one's thought and mind that leads to a change in one's way of life. Watch for a purpose to answer these questions. What causes Mr. Philip character change? Second question. Comment on the character development that Mr. Philip undergoes. Provide your answer with 2 pieces of evidence.
The prince kissed the princess and they lived happily ever after. And now, the sugar fairy and the unicorn. The story of friendship.
Hey kids, are you all still awake?
Tell us a story. Tell us a story.
You want to hear a story?
Of cloud castles. Of explorers.
Well, I can tell you about my travel to one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. And I had to fight a dangerous monster.
Yay! Woohoo!
It all started on this magical land where I was determined to reach the highest peak. But to reach there, I had to go through the scary jungle. And there were these worms, hundreds of them. I'm scared of worms.
Evil jungle attack! Run away from there! Go, Mr. Philip! Run!
Oh, no, what's happening? Where am I? I can't see anything.
Switch on the lights, Mr. B.
Wow, it's such a beautiful place.
Wow!
But I cannot stop here. I have to move on and reach the peak.
What is at the mountain peak?
We will know once we reach there. But wait, the monster! It's a worm! And it's 1,000 times huge!
I'm scared.
Me too!
Kill
But
the worm!
nothing
Kill
could
the
stop me
worm!
now.
Don't kill the worm monster.
And I finally reached the sky. It was magnificent, filled with 1,000,000 stars. And I brought some of them for you.
What about the worm monster?
Good night, little one.
Are you ready for your therapy, Mr. Philippe?
Go, Mr. Philippe!
Yes.
Now, after you finish watching the video and writing your answers, check them. The answer to the first question, what causes Mr. Philip change is, of course, the 2 factors, the characters and events. The characters are the monster worm, and the patient kids. The events are the conflict, the experience, or the struggle he had, fighting the monster worm and fighting the fear within him. Concerning the second answer, let's see Mr. Phillips' attitude at the beginning and at the end. At the very beginning, we saw Mr. Phillips scared of worms and anxious, having internal fears. This is clear when he says, "I'm scared of worms. Where am I? I can't see anything." While at the end, he became courageous and proud of his new achievement. This is clear when he says, "Nothing can stop me now. I finally reached the sky." Have a look at this chart in front of you. Do you see a difference? Do you see a change in Mr. Phillips' character? Is there a development? Is it positive or negative? Let's see. Mr. Phillips' character undergoes a positive character development. This shows a growth into a new personality. Another development is clear when he accepts to do the therapy, motivated by his inner thoughts, kid's voice at the end. And finally, let's review. Our lesson is about the literary element character development, which means the change a character undergoes. This change can be affected by other characters in the story and by the events of the story. Moreover, this change can be positive or negative. Thank you for being an attentive ear. Bye.